Welcome to this portion of Sojourners Along the Way. Several times in the past, we have mentioned the Farmacy to you. So, for this edition of Sojourners Along the Way, we're going on a tour. And I am very grateful to Carrie and to Kevin, the owners of the Farmacy here in Athens, Ohio, right on Stimson Avenue, so it's very convenient. And I hope you will learn a lot of stuff, because I know I did, going through the store with them. Even though I go there, I do shop there, I learned a lot of things, not just about what they have, but more so about the products and how they work. And you really can help yourself, your health, by learning what natural things are available. Please enjoy this edition of Sojourners Along the Way.
Hello.
Hi.
Come on in.
Thank you. This is on the inside of the Farmacy, and Carrie was the one that opened the door, and this is her husband, Kevin.
Hello.
And they are the owners of the Farmacy. So, I asked them if they would please give us a tour of what is in this store.
Back here you can see our supplement section. The vast majority of our supplements are back here. Vitamins, herbals, some tinctures.
And they have the most adorable little shopping cart for children.
It's the right size.
And there are more supplements
Tinctures over
and
here.
tinctures. Now, for some people who may not know what tinctures are, could you please tell us?
It's a process of extracting the medicinal properties of herbs, usually in an alcohol base, sometimes in a glycerin, and there's a lengthy process. It's usually, about 6 weeks that a tincture has to sit
You can actually do
in
it
an amber
yeah.
bottle.
Yeah. To make your mother tincture, yes.
Right.
Okay.
In fact, we have, speaking of tinctures, we've just recently gotten this bulk tincture rack in, which features several of the more common tinctures.
Those are therapeutic grade tinctures as well. And then we have a whole line of locals coming. We also started to dabble a little bit like liquid C, liquid D as well. And again, value oriented, much cheaper than buying a encapsulated or tabletized product. But as Carrie was saying, tinctures are just a very cost-effective way for people to get into herbs and start trying herbs a little bit, and even nutritional supplements without unloading a fortune on them. And you get results fast. You get results extremely fast with tinctures.
They go in the mouth, under the tongue typically. The capillaries open up and it's got a more direct path to the bloodstream.
Yeah, you have thousands of
Going through your digestive
capillaries
process.
in your jaws, on your tongue, in your throat, and so you do get a better absorption rate as well.
This is the majority of our homeopathic products. We've got a pretty vast selection there. So over here we have some more homeopathics, some cough syrups, things of that nature, and some topical pain relief ointments and first aid ointments and salves. And around the corner, right here, we have our essential oils. We've got a couple of different brands and a pretty large variety of those. We have a natural makeup line from Germany that is, for the most part, chemical free.
It's natural,
It's
it's
just a
clean.
very clean line. There's a website. What is that?
Skindeep.com.
Yeah, skindeep.com, where you can, type in the name of many health and beauty care products, and they've broken everything down by every ingredient in there and rated it on a scale of, I believe, 1 to 10 as far as how carcinogenic that particular ingredient is. And so there's an overall rating, and then there is a specific rating for ingredients, and this scores very well on that. We try to, most of our health and beauty care products, we do try to follow that guideline loosely, but and keep everything about a 4 or under as far as carcinogenics go, so that you're putting things on your body that are chemical free, and you're treating yourself as well on the outside as you would on the inside.
Well, 90% of what you stick on your skin goes in your body, and there is absolutely zero regulation on health and beauty in this country. Zero, nothing whatsoever. So you've got to be curious yourself, find out what these chemicals are. Some of them are just plants, but they have to put the chemical names. So you need to do your homework and find out what you are using. And it's really in your best interest, especially your kid, all of you. 90% of what you stick on your skin goes right into your body. It's the biggest organ we have. So you have to really watch out for it. And Skin Deep's a great site. EWG is connected to an environmental watchdog, a bigger organization, but it is super, super handy for the average consumer. Yeah. Like she said, you can type in a specific product line or an ingredient. And a lot of ingredients, you have to be a chemist to figure out exactly what they are. So it's very helpful to have that kind of stuff at your fingertips. And we do. Anything new, we scrutinize before we ever bring it onto the shelf. So a new customer here, or an old customer here, would want to check out this book section, just in the sense that you have a lot of good basic books that have been around for a long time, a lot of good cookbooks, a lot of good books on herbalism and basic stuff on how to make your own tincture, make your own salve, etc., 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 what herbs do, how how different herbs are classed, a lot of folklore as well. But we try to keep that a mixture of books here that can get somebody deeper involved in what we do here if they're interested, whether it be aromatherapy, natural childbirth, natural cooking, whatever the case may be. We try to keep it well stocked, and we try to keep some books in here that are on new and upcoming things out there that, for instance, gluten-free or whatever somebody may be thinking or reading a little bit about, or thinking they might want to try a little bit in their lifestyle. You'll find a nice round section here of different things for you to check out to see if you want to go a little bit deeper into certain things, or therapies, if you will. So this part of the store is our household section. Although it's not huge, it's a nice little section of environmentally sensitive products. A lot of folks will find themselves considering products like this because they're allergic to chemical sensitivity, fragrances, etc., etc., etc. Also, a lot of what's wrong with our lakes, streams, and ponds is because of the commercial detergents and dishwashing liquids and stuff we use that actually kill the ecosystems in those bodies of water. If you have a septic system, you are very aware of the need to use a natural product as opposed to a commercial product, because a septic system is a living thing, and it will literally kill your septic system. And we try to carry a lot of local product as well in every section of the store if it's available. But the gist of it is chemical free. You're not going to have a lot of products here that are laden with chemicals and fragrances and such. And if they are, they're natural, and they're not going to cause you harm or cause a lot of the normal sensitivities, skin irritation, rashes, that kind of thing that would come along with using commercial dyes and perfumes and fragrances. And you notice it doesn't smell like the regular bleach aisle in a grocery store, and that's because there's not a lot of foreboding fragrances coming out of the product at you. It's literally cleaning your stuff. The best cleaner in the world is water, and a lot of the products we use make water work better. Okay, essentially they're not displacing it or faking you out by causing it to look fluorescent or whatever. It just makes water work better, and water is the best cleaner there is.
And this leads us into our food section. This is probably where baking begins. We have several different kinds of honey, some of which is local. And we have, fruit preserves and fruit spreads, a variety of nut butters. This is the peanut butter that we grind here in the store. And then down on the bottom we have a few other sweeteners and tahini. The tahini we also package here as well. And then the rest of the baking section continues over here with organic and natural sweeteners, some sugar alternatives, chemical free, of course, baking sodas, baking powders, cocos, flavorings, a variety of salt, and some packaged baking good products. And then that leads us into our pasta section, mostly pasta anyway, a great deal of which is local. We have crumbs and we have Rossi pasta all along this line. We offer Vino di Milo pasta sauce, which is local. Some nice organic pasta sauces, canned tomatoes, some polenta. And from that, we would go into our bulk coffee, which is all fair trade, much of which is organic. The vast majority of it actually is organic. It is all. We have some canned, some of it's ground. Here you would buy the bulk bean, and we have a grinder over here where you can grind your own, whatever setting you prefer. So offering a variety of individualized herbal teas and actually some nice coffee replacements as well in this section. And then over here we extend our tea selection, our boxed teas, much of which is organic, certainly not all of it, and then even a large selection of local tea being offered here.
This is all the new section of the store. We have always sold bulk herbs and spices. We have expanded it, lowered the prices, gone mostly organic on everything we can. This being the culinary side, this being the medicinal side. And you just cannot beat the freshness. I mean, the freshness and the potency of these things are just out of this world. A lot of people that deal with frontier herbs or Star West personally will know that, you know, that's where we get all of our stuff, and it's just impeccable quality. Some of the best stuff you can get. I drew this up. My brother actually built it for us. Who's not really a woodworker. He kind of went out of his wheelhouse a little bit, but he did a great job on it, I felt like, and actually brought to fruition everything I had sketched out for him. And it's a section that's going to grow and expand, kind of the do-it-yourself section. Especially down here, if somebody's into salve making or tincture making or whatever, this is where you buy most of those medicinal things to put that product together for yourself. And of course, we have a bunch of decorations, old throwback, previous turn of the century apothecary type items that I'm kind of a collector of, or a hoarder of, if you will, that we're going to decorate the top of. They won't be for sale, they're just personal items that we really like and hold near and dear. Just kind of fun to look at how things were done over 100 years ago, before we have the modern pharmaceutical industry. So it's kind of a throwback, or kind of an honor of the old apothecary style place that people would go to, a compounding pharmacy where a guy could throw together stuff, hopefully to fix what ailed you, but also to get the soda, soda pop, or like a soda jerk place that was all one entity back in the day. And this is a new area of the store where we're dabbling a little bit with organic clothing, organic cotton, African market baskets, a plethora of different things rotate through this section. Maggie's, I think a lot of people are aware of Maggie's. It's a huge brand of organic clothing, and it is something that if you haven't tried, you should. It's a wonderful product. I was not that familiar with it prior to us carrying it, and it's really good stuff. You definitely notice a difference. So this is our bulk food section, and it is probably one of the freshest areas you could buy food. We have high turnover rate here, and this product is extremely fresh and tastes incredibly good. And again, I just can't reiterate enough, whether you're into snack foods or baking goods or making your own stuff, you can find it all here. We we have it all, and we try to carry organic as much as possible, because nutritionally it is definitely better than conventional.
This is our frozen food section. In the first freezer we have several different bread options, some local bagels from Crumbs, a company out of Columbus, Ohio, Block's Bagel. We have several gluten-free breads that we keep over here as well. And then working our way down, we've got some individualized frozen meal packages, lasagnas, things of that nature. A lot of this is convenient food. So we have a large student population here in Athens, obviously, and sometimes these little frozen meals are the most convenient for them. You know, they can just grab it, pop it in the microwave. Whether or not you condone microwave use is another subject altogether, but oftentimes that's what they have in their dorm rooms. So it's quick and easy, and as far as microwaved food goes, it's definitely more quality, which is important. Again, over here we have individualized burritos and things like that, more gluten-free pizzas, and fruits, organic fruits are great for smoothies or letting them thaw and, having your breakfast. But if you can't buy fresh produce, frozen is probably the next best option. It's flash frozen immediately upon harvest, so it sort of traps the nutrients and therefore makes it actually a nutrient-dense product, as opposed to something that might be freeze-dried, for example, wouldn't contain the same nutrients. And our last two freezers contain our frozen meats and meat alternatives. The meats that we have, much of it is locally raised. I started to say grown, but locally raised and processed, ethically so, here in Athens County. It's mostly grass-fed, antibiotic-free, hormone-free. If you're going to eat meat, this is probably some of the cleanest meat you can eat. We even have a section for the pets in our lives. Everything you see here, pretty much everything you see here, comes from a distributor in Cleveland, Ohio, I believe, called Wholesome Pets. And all of the foods are, some of them are organic, but all of them are made from real meat and whole foods. They're not made from rice and soy byproducts or, the parts of chicken that you don't want to eat or even think about. We have some supplements for your pets and some snacks and even some beauty care products, I guess you would say, shampoos and things like that for cats and for dogs.
All right, I have a couple of questions that I would like to ask the two of you. How did you become interested in health food? And you told me that you preferred the term natural foods. So how did that happen?
Well, for me, it happened via one of my older sisters when I was in high school, around 10th grade, somewhere between my 10th and 11th grade year. She had come home from college and was a vegetarian, and I had some pretty severe health problems, mainly being obese and other issues as a result of eating too much red meat and white flour. And she convinced me to give those two things up, and it changed my life. I never look back. That completely changed my life and really just reshaped me literally, and figuratively. And it lit the fire. And from there, I kind of just started really exploring things on my own. There was something to this, I honestly didn't think you could live and not eat meat, but I was just an ignorant teenager, and she showed me the way, and I never looked back. From there, I got interested in sourcing good natural foods. Obviously weren't available at that time in your regular grocery store. I would beg my local grocery to carry whole wheat spaghetti and stuff, and they'd look at me like I was from Mars. So I ordered a lot of food via mail order, and then I actually left my hometown when I graduated high school and knocked about a little bit. Ended up coming back to close to where I grew up and found a job in a natural food store that had been there for, at that point, probably about 20 years that I didn't even know existed, that was 30 miles from me as a kid. But it was a whole different time, a whole different era, and a whole different thing back then. So I've always been a believer in do what you love, and it was something I loved, and I lucked out and and was able to hone my craft in that store for 24 years, and learned a lot about what this industry is, and have watched it grow up over that course of time and changed, and now this kind of product's available everywhere, and that's a good thing on a lot of levels. Something really a consciousness has changed in our society, and more people are demanding these things, therefore more and more mainstream stores are carrying them. But in a nutshell, it has changed my life and continues to change my life, and I will do it until I die. I believe in it wholeheartedly.
Okay, and Carrie, how about for you?
Mine's not quite as dramatic, but when I was in my 19 or 20, I had done some traveling, and when I came back to my hometown, I decided that I wanted a job that felt more purposeful than just typical retail. And so I went into the natural food store in my hometown for the first time, and actually met Kevin and asked about a job and started there, and that was the beginning for me. It opened doors for me that I didn't know existed. Certainly wasn't the way that I was brought up eating, but I loved everything that I learned, and I gobbled it up voraciously and became a vegetarian shortly after starting work there, and have been one ever since. And it's how we live, it's how we raise our children. It's it's just we're blessed, I think, to have been able to come into this for this phase of our lives. Excuse me.
I liked your pun. You
Yeah.
gobbled it up.
I know.
That was really
I
cute.
love puns.
Okay, another question, and that is, what does health food, natural foods mean to you?
Go first, or-
Well, you go ahead. It's such a broad.
It really
term.
is, and I think probably to try to condense it down into a few words is life force, vitality, born out of the philosophy of whole foods, keeping things as whole as possible, not refining them. The further you refine something away from the whole, the more nutrition you lose. And I feel like it has an energy, and that's why organic foods are so far superior to commercial foods, is that there's actually a higher energy level, or life force, if you will, in that food. And I was just reading a trade magazine recently that they've actually studied organic foods and proven them to be about 20% more nutritive than commercial food. I mean, for years we've always thought that, but it's actually being proven out scientifically, and that's just really, it's a good affirmation that what you thought was all along is.
Very good. Another question that I would like you to address, and I think this is a biggie. Please explain the difference or advantages regarding food versus supplements for a person's health.
I think here in Athens, we've been pleasantly surprised to see that there is such a huge focus and such a huge knowledge of food and what food does for the body. And so we've come in contact with so many people who understand that eating your nutrients is probably the best way to make your body healthy to begin with. However, we all know that for a variety of reasons, there are various times in our lives when we aren't eating enough of the right foods, or we're deficient in one area or another, and that's when supplements do come into play. And I think that they're fantastic for filling that void, for compensating for the areas where we, for whatever reason, don't get enough nutrients from our food. In a variety of areas, of course.
Well, look at the definition of the word supplement. What does it mean to supplement a deficient diet? It's almost humanly impossible to eat as much as everything you need to get the nutrient quality or what your body demands in a given day. It's almost humanly impossible. Nobody can eat perfectly 100% of the time. We're a traveling society. Everybody's binging around all over the place, and that's where it becomes uber important that you get nutritional supplements to fill in the blanks of what you're not getting dietarily out there.
And I think just along with that, it's important when you do look for supplements, it's so important to find supplements that are in a whole food base, that aren't
Absolutely.
comprised of just fillers and junk. Because
Supplements are not created
it's not going to do
equally.
you any. That's right. It's just not going to do you any good at all.
Absolutely.
To supplement with something that isn't nutrient dense.
Going out on a limb, A, let's compare the pharmacy to a mainstream grocery store, and B, what do you have that they don't?
Well, I would say most mainstream grocery stores today are carrying a lot of the same products that we carry here, especially the food line anyway. Maybe not so much the supplements, but they dabble in supplements as well. But the biggest difference is probably our level of customer service. Here we try to have a very educated staff. We offer product training. We have representatives from various companies that come in and do in-store trainings or over-the-phone trainings. We encourage our employees to read, and to ask as many questions as they can at any given time. And we like to tell our customers that we may not know the answer, but we're going to find out for you. And we encourage our staff to search for those answers, or to come to Kevin or I and say, here's a question, we don't know where to look for an answer. And we try to find those answers for our customers. And beyond that, I guess probably our deli would be the next thing that we offer that most mainstream grocery stores don't have. They may offer a deli, but probably not one where the food is made from scratch with with the products from the shelves or from local ingredients, and we definitely do that here.
Well, let's go take a look at your deli, okay?
Great.
And as we go there, I'm going to mention that your deli is fully licensed and that the health department also comes on a regular basis, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Just like they do.
We're friends with the health food department. In fact, we like them to come in and inspect things and make sure that we are up to code, that they are aware of those specifications more so than we are, and so we definitely want to make sure that we're providing the cleanest, healthiest environment for our customers. So this is our deli. I guess I would begin over here with the deli case. We try to keep it stocked with fresh baked goods, vegan varieties, and got some yummy black bean brownies. Monday through Saturday anyway, sometimes on Sundays, we would normally have, we'd start our day off with a hot breakfast wrap or a breakfast sandwich. Get the day going right. We have coffee, we have an extensive menu, as you can see on the board, for smoothies made with, I would say, 95% organic fruits. I would say 100%, but every now and then, if we run out of organic bananas and we have to buy some bananas that aren't. That might happen, but 95% of the time, all of the fruit in our smoothies is organic. We always have 2 soups going every day, usually, almost always, a vegan variety, and then usually a vegetarian variety. Very rarely we'll have some meat. Very, very rarely. But occasionally, that does happen. We have drinks, and we keep this deli case stocked with freshly made sandwiches and cold salads that we make here in the deli.
Anything else you want to add?
Well, beyond the deli, but sharing space, I guess, is this final refrigerated food section where we have a lot of dairy products, some more extra produce down here, and some supplements that need to be refrigerated at all times. We offer local eggs, local milk, and cheese. I think that pretty well wraps up the tour of the pharmacy.
And you also make wraps, don't you?
Oh yes, we absolutely make wraps.
So now you can wrap it up.
Now I can wrap it up. Oh.